Welcome to my channel. Today we're going to explain the novel 1984. 1984 is a dystopian novel by British author George Orwell. It was his last major work and it was published in June of 1949. The story is about a man named Winston Smith who rebels against the super-controlling government that watches him at all times through telescreens. And besides the telescreens, the government also has the thought police that can come and take him away if he ever thinks of rebelling, or if he's suspected of committing thought crime, which is just thinking bad thoughts about the party or Big Brother. So the main character, Winston, decides to join the mysterious brotherhood led by the elusive rebel Julius Caesar. But unfortunately for Winston, their efforts to overthrow the party ultimately fail. The story is set in Oceania, which is a totalitarian state that is engaged in perpetual war with one of two other constantly warring superstates. In this world, everything that people do, say, think, and even feel is controlled by the party. Winston works in the Ministry of Truth, where his job is to lie and revise history and make it fit the party's current agenda. The party controls everything, including the past and even the future. For example, when Winston is given a task to rewrite an article so it appears that the party had always supported a certain policy, he changes the text accordingly. And the thing is, no one ever seems to question the truth of these rewritten articles. The party's main goal is power over people. They've taken all freedoms from people. There is no freedom of speech, press, assembly, or religion. Also, there's no due process or rule of law. People can be arrested for committing thought crime, and no one can question why they were arrested, or even know what evidence was used against them. There's only one legal court, and it is the party. In the courts of Oceania, there are no trials, only sentencing. In fact, the very notion of justice has been abolished. In the world of Oceania, justice means that the accused person has committed a crime, and the party cannot tolerate any crime whatsoever. A key part of the party's power is its control over language. In fact, the party has created a special kind of newspeak that limits the ability of people to express themselves and to think freely. With newspeak, it is possible to make political incorrectness literally impossible. That is because newspeak removes words related to politics and even grammar. Nouns expressing concepts which the party wants to discourage become ungrammatical. For example, in newspeak, one could say that Jones is a good worker, but one couldn't say that Smith is a good worker because the word Smith is a proper noun, and you're not allowed to say that someone is good if they are a proper noun. And obviously, this would be extremely useful for a totalitarian regime. However, Winston remembers a time before newspeak when people had more freedom of expression. He also remembers a time when there were more freedoms overall. Winston remembers a time when there was something called the Chestnut Tree Cafe, which was a place where people could go and discuss ideas freely, and there was art and music and books and stuff. But all of that was before Big Brother. Big Brother is the figurehead of the party. No one has actually seen him, and Winston believes he might not even exist. But that doesn't really matter because everyone loves Big Brother. The party has convinced everyone that Big Brother is their savior. Winston hates Big Brother. He hates the party, and he hates the world that he lives in. Winston wants to break free from all of this. He doesn't want to live like a mindless drone that blindly follows the party. He wants to think for himself. He wants to be able to love and express love freely without the fear of being punished for it. And most importantly, he wants to be able to rebel against the party and bring about a world where people are free. In order to rebel against Big Brother, Winston starts a love affair with a woman named Julia, and together they plan to overthrow the party. They both hate Big Brother too, and they both long for a world where people are free. Winston starts writing in a diary, which is a serious crime because it is almost impossible to get a hold of paper. And as Winston writes down his thoughts, He becomes more aware of how much the party has brainwashed him. He realizes that he has been conditioned to accept the party's lies and propaganda as truth. For example, when he was young, he believed that the party was protecting him from the outside world, from the other superstates. But now he realizes that the party has lied to him about everything. One day, Winston sees a prole woman washing clothes in a public fountain. The proles are the working-class citizens of Oceania who make up about 80% of the population. The party keeps tabs on the proles, but it allows them to live pretty much as they want, as long as they don't get involved in politics. Unlike Winston, the proles have never questioned the party. They just accept whatever it tells them. To Winston, the prole woman represents innocence and purity. She is unlike anyone else in Oceania. She is not brainwashed, and she does not accept the party's lies. Winston longs for the simplicity of her life. He wishes he could go back to a time when he was innocent and free from the party's grasp. But he knows that this is impossible. One day, Winston meets an old man named Syme. Syme works in the Ministry of Language, where he is responsible for creating new words and phrases for newspeak. Winston dislikes Syme because he represents everything that Winston hates about the party. Syme is a true believer, and he is completely loyal to Big Brother. Syme believes that newspeak is a great accomplishment, and he is proud to be a part of it. Winston, on the other hand, sees newspeak as a dangerous tool of control. He believes that it is a way for the party to keep people from thinking freely and independently. Winston warns Syme that he is in danger of being vaporized, which is a term for when the party gets rid of someone by simply erasing them from existence. Syme laughs at Winston and tells him not to be ridiculous, but just a few days later, Winston sees Syme on the telescreen, and Big Brother has announced that Syme has been vaporized. Winston becomes increasingly desperate in his attempts to overthrow the party. He begins attending underground meetings with other rebels, and he even tries to contact the mysterious Brotherhood. One day, Winston and Julia are captured by the Thought Police and taken to the Ministry of Love. Winston is tortured and brainwashed until he finally breaks and betrays Julia. In the end, Winston is left alone in a room with Big Brother, and he finally understands the true meaning of doublethink. Doublethink is the ability to hold two contradictory beliefs simultaneously and to accept both of them as true. Winston realizes that he has been a party member all along, and he loves Big Brother. And that's the story of 1984. Now you know what it's about. If you like this video, please leave us a comment below and tell us what book you would like us to explain next. And while you're at it, hit that subscribe button to get notified every time we upload a new video. As you probably noticed, making videos like this takes a lot of effort and time. That is why we are asking you to support us on a crowdfunding platform. The link is in the description below. By supporting us, you will gain access to our exclusive podcast. We would greatly appreciate your support. In addition, if you want to help us grow, then you can follow us on social media and share our content there. And if you want to watch another one of our videos, then you can click one of the videos that are appearing on your screen right now. Thank you for watching.